Hello, everyone. 411 Business here. And today we are talking holistic health with Dr. Drucker. Good morning, Dr. Drucker. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Joan. Good, thank you.
So let's talk about this morning. Let's talk a little bit about the different types of treatment that you have for treating people that have long COVID.
Well, okay, yes, we can start with that. Well, with long COVID, you have to realize that there's a number of physiological and biochemical details that need to be addressed. And I don't really think we have the time to go into all of them here on the show, but I can tell you that there has to be a stepwise, multifaceted approach to completely deal with this problem. Uh, and I have a long COVID protocol and a holistic approach to COVID related issues, which I'm happy to explain to anyone in more detail if they'll call me at 954 547 0487. 954-547-0487, and then we can discuss on the phone in greater detail and look at your personal situation and see how much we can help you. But it's a holistic approach. I have a multidisciplinary practice. We have a doctor of Oriental medicine. We have an osteopathic physician. We have myself. We have a real multifaceted approach that's very effective and completely drug-free. But I wanted to say, moreover, that besides just COVID, or for that matter, any viral infection, because see, all viruses have certain, let's say, certain characteristics that make them vulnerable to natural approaches. Let me give you an example. Even just washing your hands with regular soap and water. See, soap is a fat plus lye, an alkali, and it makes soap. Well, the fat in the soap actually helps to break up lipid particles or fat particles in the membrane or the coating of the virus. And that's why even just washing your hands or washing your body with soap kills viruses. Now that's external. Internal, you have to get the immune system fired up. It's a more complex process. In fact, if you go to my website, drronpdrucker.com, that's DRRONPDRUCKER.com, drronpdrucker.com, I actually have, excuse me, I actually have videos on how the human body, vis-a-vis the immune system, of course, kills not only bacteria but viruses. And it's fascinating because most people don't know this. They don't know how it actually occurs, and they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, I made 2 videos of it. In fact, if you'll go to my other website, healtherootcause.com, you'll see a practical solution to immune system problems, whether that's an autoimmune disease like Hashimoto's, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriasis, eczema. There's about 100 of them. And what I'm really doing is trying to teach or educate the public as well as healthcare professionals on how to deal with these supposedly incurable diseases, which in many cases are not incurable. And I actually show about a discovery I made about 45 years ago called the immune modulators, which actually heal the immune system. They also heal the gut. And they call the GI tract now, or the gut, they call it the second brain. It has tremendous far-reaching effects on the body. And also the immune system.
So let's talk a little bit about some of these effects that are that kind of go along with long COVID. What are some of the symptoms that people are seeing and having? Because maybe they're having these and they don't even know about them.
Well, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that. I myself got COVID. What happened was I burnt the candle at both ends. I ran myself down. It was my own fault. Working long hours, driving long distances, seeing lots and lots and lots of patients. Really, really, really overdoing it. And I think I got two strains of COVID actually. And I actually was in bed myself for 21 days. I didn't eat a drop of food for 21 days. I fasted because fasting is so good for your immune system. But I also took the immune modulators and some vitamins and had some help from an osteopathic doctor, a friend of mine. So I weathered through it fine. but the symptoms were loss of taste and smell, which doesn't happen with everyone, but it happens with some people. Severe fatigue, heart arrhythmias, generalized aches and pains, kind of like the flu. Um, and there was actually some brain fog. It took me a while to get rid of the brain fog. But those are the most common symptoms of COVID or long COVID. And there's a nasty problem. But viruses are nasty to begin with. You've got Epstein-Barr, which is a chronic virus. You've got the herpes viruses, which are very bothersome to people, can cause shingles. But the point is that regardless of the particular virus, or bacteria for that matter, or fungi, or even parasites, if your immune system is strong and healthy, you're going to be much more resistant to them. And even if you do come down with an infection, you're going to get rid of it much quicker if your immune system is working properly. And this is really what I teach people, how to reestablish and maintain a healthy immune system. You see, if you think about it, the immune system is the best doctor in the world. It's been around for millions of years. The only reason we're still here as a species, that we're still alive, is because of the immune system. Do you know if you cut your hand and you did not have an immune system, you'd be dead within 3 days of an infection from the knife or whatever cut you? 3 days, you'd be dead. You think about it. Let's say you had a bacterial infection. Okay, you have pneumonia. Okay. So you go to the doctor prescribes an antibiotic. Well, the antibiotic may kill 99% of the pneumococcus pneumoniae, that's the causative agent of pneumonia, if it's a bacterial pneumonia. But what about the 1% that are resistant to the antibiotic, that have mutated? They call them superbugs, hospital-acquired infections, etc., right? Well, your immune system has to kill those. If it doesn't, you're dying of pneumonia, you see, or any other disease for that matter. Well, the same is true of a viral infection. You have a viral infection. Even if the drugs work, but most of them are rather ineffectual for viruses. But let's say you take some and it has some effect. It kills some of the viruses. You can't kill them all. Same reason. There's mutated strains, etc. What kills the last virus? It's your immune system. But the truth is that's the same with anything. If you cut your hand, if you have an operation, what heals you after the operation? Surgeon did a great job. Took out, the whatever they needed to do. Now they sewed you back up, but you still have to heal up, right? What heals you? It's your immune system. Immune system sends in.
I think that's the thing, is a lot of people don't really even understand how important our immune system is and the bare basics of how the immune system works. Because when you
yeah, you're absolutely right. It's so important. Here's how important the immune system is. Even if you're very sick, you have a chronic illness, so you're bedridden, you're losing weight, you have a fever, you have all kinds of problems. Do you know the last system in your body to give up is your immune system?
Wow.
You could have heart failure. Yeah, you could have a bad liver. You could have kidney dysfunction, all kinds of problems. The last system in your body to give up is the immune system. Isn't that amazing? That's how important. And you see, look, if you go to your doctor, does the doctor say to you, okay, you're getting a good night's sleep? Are you eating a healthy diet? Have you done any detoxification? Are you doing anything to build up your immune system? You know, they don't talk to you this way. They say, oh, you have a symptom, let's give you a drug. Well, the drug has toxicity. Do you know the FDA will not approve a drug unless you can prove what's called an LD50, lethal dose 50? If 50%, if you can't show the dose of the drug that will kill 50% of the test animals, they will not approve it as a drug.
Wow.
Isn't
Are
that
you
something?
serious?
Yeah. So this is why I have focused on safe and natural alternatives to drugs, surgery, and radiation when possible, because in a medical emergency, those things can save your life. If you need an X-ray or an MRI, or you need a certain medication just to survive a heart attack or some such, go ahead. I encourage people to go to an emergency room if that's what they need. Hopefully there'll be talented doctors there, good nursing staff, etc. Good surgeons that could help you in an emergency. But most of people's health problems are chronic: arthritis, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, of which there's 100 or over 100. Serious illnesses, chronic illnesses. It's only nature that's going to heal you. See, all I'm really doing, again, is helping the immune system, the best doctor in the world, to heal you. And we don't need drugs for that. We need safe and natural alternatives. In fact, in my book, I have a quote, and I'll quote it for you. It says, almost every disease has a safe and natural alternative to drugs, surgery, and radiation, except for medical emergencies, where they can save your life. But other than that, do they ever cure arthritis? Do they ever cure diabetes? What about autoimmune diseases? Lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, eczema, psoriasis, on and on and on. There's 100 of them. They even admit they don't have a cure for autoimmune diseases. And I'm not saying that I cure it. I'm saying your immune system can cure it. It's an immune system problem. Why don't we make your immune system as healthy as possible and see what happens? Well, I'll tell you what happens. Most of the time, people get better.
What happens is you feel amazing.
Well, go to my website, healtherootcause.com. You'll see dozens and dozens of video testimonials of people that had supposedly incurable autoimmune diseases or other diseases, and they got better. I don't heal anybody. It's their own immune system. I'm not claiming that I cure anything.
Let's talk a little, Dr. Drucker, let's talk a little bit about what causes the immune system to get weak.
Oh, that's a great question. Boy, is that a great question. Well, okay, let's look at it. So first of all, since World War II particularly, they've destroyed our food supply. They went from organic farming, basically, to using artificial fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, all these nasty things that really kill the friendly bacteria in the soil, the ones that they call them nitrogen-fixing bacteria. So now they had to use more nitrogen in an artificial fertilizer. Now you have a sick plant, and it doesn't have the mineral. The minerals are gone out of the soil. So now we're eating this demineralized food that they can produce it in large amounts on these vast, agribusiness farms, which of course is not good also because it's hurting the small farmer. But anyway, the point is we got lots of this food, but it has no nutrients, very little nutrients. And it's laden with poison, like glyphosate. That you heard about that $10 billion antitrust suit, class action suit against Monsanto because of the people who are dying of people are dying of cancer from these poison sprays. So anyway, the point is, so that's part of it. A demineralized and nutrient deficient food that we're eating, plus those toxins, plus environmental toxins. I actually read about 10 years ago that we're exposed to over 100,000 toxins that didn't even exist 100 years ago. And like I say, most of them since World War II. So we got to get rid of the toxins. We got to get the proper nutrients. And most importantly, we have to heal your immune system. Now, another thing that will damage the immune system is antibiotics. Antibiotics kill not only the pathogenic or disease-causing bacteria, but they also kill the friendly bacteria. Well, this, we're actually what's called a commensal. We actually eat at the same table of these friendly bacteria, like lactobacillus. You know, there's many species of them, and of course, and interestingly, the friendly bacteria discourage the disease-causing bacteria. And what does that? The immune modulators. They actually not only do they help your body and your immune system to kill the bad bacteria or the dangerous ones, and viruses, and fungi and parasites. It's all there with the scientific references. You can look them up. But also, they encourage the growth of the friendly bacteria. Well, the friendly bacteria are doing wonderful things for us. They're making B vitamins. They're helping you digest your food. They're helping make what are called short chain fatty acids, which are helpful and very beneficial to us. For example, one called butyric acid actually not only stimulates the production of new enterocytes. Those are the cells in your small intestine that are so important for healing leaky gut, for reducing allergies and whatnot, and helping you absorb the proper nutrients from food and not let the bad guys leak into your bloodstream. And it even reduces the risk of colon cancer, according to medical research. So, you have to have a healthy gut. You have to have a healthy diet. You need to detoxify, and you need to build up a healthy immune system. Chronic severe stress can knock down your immune system. You'd be amazed how many people get seriously ill after a tragedy, maybe a divorce, maybe a death in the family, maybe you lose your job, you have a lot of stress, and people get sick. They get autoimmune diseases. But this is all reversible. It's all reversible. I mean, 99% reversible.
So when we talk about the immune system, right, and we talk about um, its major role that it plays in our body, right? What do you tell people? I know we talk about healing the immune system, but what does that look like? I know you have some supplements, right? So can we talk about the supplements a little bit and then talk
Oh,
about
sure. Well, here's some interesting things. The immune system has certain requirements. Now, the best way I can describe it to you is this. If you look at a cell membrane is a circle, right?
Mhm.
But protruding from that cell membrane are biochemicals. It's called the glycocalyx. These biochemicals are absolutely essential for the proper functioning of your immune system. So these stabilized immune modulators, which I discovered about 45 years ago, and which we've been perfecting ever since, actually replenish these terminal molecules and make them the way they're supposed to be. So when a white cell comes by and it recognizes the proper molecules at the end of the glycocalyx, it says, "Hey, that's me. Leave me alone." Right? But if it doesn't, if it doesn't recognize those proper biochemicals, then it'll attack you. That's autoimmune disease right there. So what we do is we replenish the proper terminal molecules on the glycocalyx. We replenish them. The body takes them in, absorbs them, and uses them as structural components and heals that glycocalyx, makes a normal glycocalyx. And guess what? The immune system stops attacking you because it say, "Hey, this is me. Leave me alone." And then it can go after the bad guys, you see.
exactly.
So that's
What was that show called? Osmosis Joe or something? Did you ever see that? It was that movie where it went in and I think Chris Rock or Chris Tucker, one of them played in it. But it was a cartoon, but it goes inside the body. And that was a great show to teach about, the immune system on a whole nother level because it
yeah.
went in and showed how your immune system is your defense.
It's really your almost your entire defense. I mean, your skin protects you a little bit, uh, but even the mucous membranes of your nose or mouth or gut, they even have part of the immune system in there. They have the things called immunoglobulins that are there. Immunoglobulin A, for example, with your sinus mucous membranes or the mouth or the gut, and they're constantly protecting us. So so again, we want to rebuild a healthy glycocalyx. We want to repair the immune system, get it working against the bad guys and not against us. And we do that with the stabilized immune modulators. I don't sell them, but I teach about them to the public and to doctors and scientists through my websites, healtherootcause.com, drronpdrucker.com, dynamicmedicine.solutions, dynamicmedicine.solutions, and holisticlives.org, holistic, HOLISTIC, lives.org. The reason I have 4 or 5 websites is because there's a lot of information that the public needs to know today. They've been misinformed. I mean, look, you're at home, you're watching TV. You know that more than 50% of the commercials are for a drug, a synthetic drug. Now, a synthetic drug might take away some symptoms, but they're not curative. In fact, they always talk about treatments, management. They're not really curing anything. So why take a synthetic drug that has toxicity and side effects when you can get similar or even much better results with natural ingredients that are completely safe? They're inexpensive, they're safe, they're natural, they're organic. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't understand why people even go to their medical professional unless you have an acute problem that they can definitely solve, or usually solve, I should say. Nobody bets 1,000. But you have
Well,
arthritis, you have
if
diabetes.
if we talk on that, if we touch on that subject again, I mean, a little bit, I think that people go to the doctor because that's what they're programmed to do, you
Well,
know?
yes, of course. And we've been dumbed down. Our whole society's been dumbed down. We've lost our classical education. I mean, how many people read, classic literature? How many people read the Bible anymore? How many people read the original works of maybe Archimedes or Leonardo da Vinci or Einstein or any of these great authors like John Steinbeck or there's so many, we learn so much from these wonderful authors and these wonderful scientists and these great historians over the years, but we've lost that to a high degree.
So what would you, if you, talking to the audience, what are 3 things that someone could do right away after seeing your show today? What are
Oh,
3 things someone could do to help heal their immune system from where it is
oh,
currently?
oh, oh, that's a great question. Well, first of all, anybody can call me anytime. There's no charge for a phone call. My number is 954-547-0487. That's 954-547-0487. I'm happy to speak with you. And the reason I really like speaking with people is twofold. First of all, everybody's unique. Your individual situation may be a little different than the guy down the block or the gal down the block or whoever. So I like to individualize my advice or my treatments. And that's number one. And number two, the public has been dumbed down. They're ignorant. They don't know who talks about the immune system. Very few people. In fact, when I worked in hospitals, health was a verboten subject. We're not allowed. We can't speak about health. You could talk about disease and diagnosis all you wanted, right? But what about health? I worked in hospitals for 5 years. I was doing cancer research. I was 19. I worked in hospitals for 5 years. What did I learn about health?
Wow, that's
Nothing.
powerful.
I learned so much about disease, diagnosis, all these different illnesses. Must have looked at God knows how many tens of thousands of slides with abnormal blood cells and abnormal chemistry tests and on and on and on and on. I learned a tremendous. In fact, I even teach diagnosis to other doctors now. But what did I learn about health? Nothing. And that's why I had to leave hospital work and medical research, because now I kept up with the research. You can just look at the medical literature, like with PubMed, you can Google something and it'll pop up, So I kept up with the medical research. Now, not the research from people who are obviously biased, but the research from honest scientists. They worked at a university. They really wanted to find the truth, the answers to disease and whatnot, prevention. Those are the ones I listen to. Holistic and alternative and complementary doctors, physicians, uh, scientists, researchers. The funny thing is that the scientific world actually knows how to prevent and cure most ailments. Unfortunately, there are elements in the medical world that don't want to, because if you're cured, they lose the client. I mean, imagine if we could cure, let's say, 90% of arthritis, diabetes, autoimmune diseases, serious chronic problems. What would happen? That would be a big financial loss for big pharma and for hospitals. Of course, the people would be healthier and happier and live longer, but that doesn't seem to be the direction things are going.
Well, that's the big powerful thing about you and with your holistic approach, So everyone at 411 Business, if you are looking for a holistic approach, you're looking to get any kind of help, you have a question, a medical thought, a medical question, you can reach out to Dr. Ronald Drucker. Dr. Drucker, give us your information one more time.
Well, my phone number is 954-547-0487. That's 954-547-0487. My websites are healtherootcause.com, healtherootcause.com, drronpdrucker.com, drronpdrucker.com, dynamic medicine.solutions, dynamic medicine.solutions, and holistic lives, HOLISTIC, lives.org. And I'm more than happy to speak with anyone for a health related reason. And my websites are very educational. You can even get a copy of my book called The Code of Life. The Code of Life. Call me. I can mail you a copy, or you can look at some of my websites. I think there's an audio version you can download, and there's even I think there's a print version you can download as well. It's called The Code of Life. Tremendous
So there
information.
you have it. So there you have it, 411 Business. If you like what you hear, hit the like button, subscribe to 411 Business, where we are creating a connection of perfection. And stay tuned. Stay tuned for our next show, where we dive into Dr. Drucker's book, The Code of Life.
Oh, great.
I love it. Okay, Dr. Drucker, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure having you on the show today. And we look forward to diving into and you being able to share with the audience and the world about your book.
Well, thank you so much, Joan, and I'll look forward to that.
Okay.